Okay, well, I don't think I showed this, but I got this intake tube extension and I got it used. But the problem is that it has some light surface scratches in it, and especially right around there, as you can see them. These are really hard to find in pristine condition, and of course they're not available new. So I've had this on the car for about a week, and I've been racking my brain deciding what to do. And so I have some 800 grit sandpaper, and I'm actually sanding out these scratches, and they're coming out great. Just requires a little bit of finesse. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this, which will, and it's only 2 bolts. I'll remove this and it'll let me get a good sand on it. And then I've got some SEM trim black that I'm going to paint this with. And it of course wouldn't have been painted from the factory, but in order to get a nice, show quality finish, that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'll get it out, get it sanded. And just as I'm doing this real quick, I wanted to show you, it looks like it almost had at one time, I don't know if it was from the factory or what, maybe you more experienced CRX guys out there can tell me, may have had like a clear coat over it or something like that. Was pretty heavy in this area, and it's all coming off. This is actually really nice and smooth to the touch right now. So I'm going to actually just do the flat surface. I decided to leave it on the car for now. It's much easier, but I will take it off when I have to do some of the heavier areas. Okay, just a bit of an update. I did switch over to 600 grit sandpaper, and I was using 8, but 600 I found is pretty much perfect to get out some of the heavier scratches. And what happens when you sand this, the plastic kind of just, crumbles up and falls away. I realize the lighting is not that great, but it's after 9 o'clock at night. So, and then you just kind of wipe it away, but it looks really smooth. There's just a couple deeper gouges that I'm going to keep working on, but I'm actually really happy with the way that this has come out. Now, one thing I don't know is if this will stand up to the heat, being under the hood. It's not going to get super, super hot, but it's going to get hot enough. And I guess time will tell, but if that's the case, then I'll have to, go to plan B. I'll have to try to find a different one or whatever. But actually, since I already bought this, and it is actually in really good shape, except for a couple cosmetic scratches, I'm going to work with what I have. All right, you join me, and it's actually the next morning, and I worked on this thing some more, and I think I've got it to the point where I'm actually pretty happy with it. All of the scratches are out except for 1 or 2 really, really deep ones right there, which you can barely see. I'm not too worried about those because those are facing the backside. But this thing from the factory was kind of just a rough piece of plastic. It was never really meant to be super smooth. There's a lot of casting lines in it and everything that you can see. And so I think what I'm doing to it is going to be much better. So I am going to use some Adhesion Promoter on this. I looked at the SEM technical sheets, and I think that's the best thing to do. So I'll put some Adhesion Promoter on it, and then we will spray it. Stay tuned. Okay, you join me once again here in my dedicated paint booth, and I've cleaned it really well with glass cleaner and microfiber, and I'm going to use this Adhesion Promoter that I got from paintscratch.com. I actually ordered some paint matched paint for the car, which I will be demonstrating in later episodes down the road. But for right now, I'm going to give this a nice coat of this Adhesion Promoter, and then we will paint it. While I'm waiting for the Adhesion Promoter to flash, I did pick up some SEM trim black, and I ordered this about 3 weeks ago on Amazon, and it's taken that long to get here. So I'll put a link in the description, This stuff is really good. It's been around forever, and the color is great. I do expect the color to match pretty much perfectly, so give this a few more minutes and then we'll start spraying it. All right, well, this is all dry after several coats, and I'm very happy with the way that it looks. It just looks natural, nice, clean, not overly dressed for the engine bay, but just perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and install it. All right, it's all dried and installed. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks great. It's got a nice sheen to it, and really, I think it matches what it would have looked like back in 1991. So the only thing that's up in the air is, you know, if the heat is going to affect this coating, but I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks and months, and I'll let you know. But as far as a solution goes, I think sanding that down and smoothing it out, definitely the way to go at this point. So I'm very happy with that. On to the next project.